Hello survivors and welcome to another video. We are playing Too Many Cooks today. It is a brand new year, the start of 2024. I hope you all had a fantastic New Year's and that you all kept safe and are doing well. Remember, stay safe but party hard as well. Anyway, in today's game, we're going to show you the game itself. We've got ourselves some options over here where we, nothing too major over there, but that's okay. We've got something called the shop, which is your standard meta progression. What happens is you get XP after every round, and then you use that XP to then get different upgrades. Now you can change what you've got for other things over here, and you can see that as you click on them, the amount of XP needed does get increased as well. So we've gone for a bit of area of effect, some damage, a little bit of crit chance over there, and then you'll see over here that we've got a bunch of recipes. You collect ingredients in the game to unlock these meals, and these different meals are then become unlockables for you to get while you are playing the game. So as you can see, we've unlocked something here called steak and potatoes. We need steak, potato, butter, Brussels sprouts, and then we're able to get the frozen enemies take 25% chance, 25% damage every 2 seconds. So let's just jump straight into it. We are going to try and unlock the third character that is available in the game right now. We're going to be doing it with the second character, and we need to then beat the ice cream parlor. Now, as you can see over here, base enemy stats are 20% increased, as well as the final XP gained plus 20%. Now, as I mentioned before, that final XP is going to be what gives us that meta progression. So a rice ball gun over here, every 20th shot to shoot a circle of fireballs, and we start with soy sauce upgrade. Critical hits will cause 20% damage to surrounding enemies, so we do want to get that crit to be really juicy. I just want to make sure I did click on the ice cream parlor there. Sometimes it seems to change itself over there. We are going to run difficulty 0. I don't think we need to run the other ones. We can start running more and more higher difficulties as you play. It does give you more XP, and then playing at playing at difficulty level 5 or higher lets you get to customize these further, and then there are things like XP gain eventually, which will be great. But for the sake of the video, we're going to play on difficulty level 0, and we're going to see how we can go. Now, it doesn't have an auto shoot. I have spoken to the developers. I do think it is something that does need to be added into the game. Besides for that, it seems to be the only thing. There are already plans to add more characters, to add more weapons, and then also more recipes and unlocks and passives and things like that. So it already is, the game's already in early access, and you are able to go and wishlist it if you want it to be on special. I do believe it is on special already until the 4th of January, so you can go and grab it if you enjoy what you see over here. We're going to grab crit damage. We do want to try and get as much crit chance, crit damage, and flat damage, and then we'll see what else we can get from there. Now, the recipes that you get, you only unlock from grabbing ourselves, elite kills. I'll show you which ones are the elites when we get there, but until we get there, just enjoy the ice cream parlor music, and you can see every 20th shot, we also unleash all those fireballs in a huge AoE around us. So here's the huge damage. That's fantastic, 25%. Now, the way that the percentage for damage works is it is based off of your current damage. So now you can see we're on 90% at the top over there by the muscle. And what that does is if we get another 10% increase to damage, it would go to 99 over 90. So it's based on what your current damage is. Here we go. That's the perfect example. As you can see, it went to 99. Now, for the shooting, you can hold down or click. So if I wanted, I can just click once. We only have 3 bullets. There is an upgrade that increases how many bullets you do have. I've never seen it yet in my playtime. We do have 3 lives as well, so we do have to be careful. You can increase the amount of lives you get. And there was an elite, and as you can see, we start getting different stats to go for. So I'm going to go for red onion. I want the increased XP gain. We've got a lemon that electrocutes when you pick up those drops that the enemies have, and then steak, we get damage for each coin collected a max 20%, but we want to get onion. We want as much XP as possible, especially in the beginning of the run. So let's see what we can get and how good or juicy this can be. I think that damage is going to be very, very good. That's going to give us a whack ton, a little bit better than a common upgrade to our crit. 11% crit. You'll notice the red damage numbers on top of enemies. That's to show that it has crit. We're going to grab the crit chance over here because that is quite a large amount. Getting the bullet bounce is nice, however it isn't homing. So there is a upgrade that you get from an elite or from the bosses that allows your bullets to bounce +1, but it also makes it so that it goes to the next enemy. So we'll wait for that upgrade before we get more bullet bounces. It's not really necessary until we get that. There's a nice juicy damage upgrade. Getting ourselves that 25% over there is going to help us, and we're going to see how much damage we can get. Once you get more crit and once you get a whole lot of crit damage, your damage numbers just become insanely high and insanely strong. You'll end up like, although we're already one-tapping everything, you'll end up just, you just destroy even these elites. You can see we already do quite a lot of damage to them, but once we get what we're looking for, it's going to be amazing. So I'm going to grab the sugarcane. It spawns a helper that collects coins for us and does 25% damage. That means we could even stand still now. We don't have to worry about collecting coins anymore because we're going to passively get that. We're going to grab the crit damage over there. 50% is a huge amount, especially when we start getting crits all the time. You can see we're already critting for 500 plus damage, and that's going to become a larger and larger number as we keep going and as we keep increasing the amount of damage we get. Now, I do like that there are different weapons already in the game, although it is already in early access. I don't know, it's already got quite a lot, and because of the way that the meta progression system works, we are going to be finding ourselves grinding quite a lot. However, the game does have what I would like to call, well, not what I like to call, but it does already have an endless mode in it. So if you do want to grind that XP, and if you want to go for as long as you possibly can to get as much XP as you can, or if you find yourself in a really, really good run and you're like, okay, this is the run for me to get that meta progression, and then you do play the endless, and you're going to be able to, you know, keep going and get as much XP as possible. So it does kind of remove that little bit of grindiness there. Obviously there's still a grind, that's how these games operate, you know, there's always going to be a grind, but as long as you're having fun in the game, then nothing really feels tedious ever. So the more you enjoy a game, the easier it is to grind out in that game and to have fun in it as well. So over here we could spawn a landmine every 5 seconds within pickup range. Enemies' special attacks are less accurate or shoot through solid objects. We're going to shoot through solid objects. I do think as a recommendation for the developers, if you do land up watching this, please do just, you know, have a border around what you've selected, because sometimes you can click on something, not realize you've clicked on it because there's no indicator showing that that is what you have chosen for your upgrade before you click on next. So 2 things there. The one will be an auto shoot, and then the other will be add a border into the game so that we can see what our selection is, just because otherwise I can see a lot of people, including myself, clicking on this, although I mean it does show that it is like pushed in, I guess, by the color, but and then you can select it from there. But maybe even getting rid of the select, and when you actually click on it or double click on it, it does put that into you know, as your actual upgrade. So I don't know, that's just my personal opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section, of course, and what you would like to see added to this game to make it something that you may or make you more inclined to purchase it, or whatever the case may be. You know, the developers of indie games are always happy to try and make their game very appealing to obviously the masses, and to try and get you know, as many people to want to play it. So they're always welcome to criticism. Alright, we don't need a cilantro. We're going to grab the steak over here. We want to try and get as much damage. So we're going to grab the steak. The steak just makes it so that when we kill enemies, we now start getting more and more damage. As you can see, the damage number is going up, and that's going to help us as well, because the more damage we have, the more crit damage we're going to do. So we need to now work on that crit as much as possible. You'll start seeing it working a lot better as soon as we get you know, to 50% or plus on the crits. So hopefully we can get those going. We want to try and see those juicy 700 crits that we're already starting to see happening on these enemies. And then obviously we can get you know, reload speed. So fire rate, I think reload speed is a lot more important than fire rate. As you can see, we'll end up reloading after every 3 bullet shot. So if we get a high reload speed, you don't really feel that reload. It does become pretty instant, and that's going to help you dish out more and more damage. So we want to try and get that reload speed going over there. It will be something that I try and get up in my meta progression as well. But damage always comes before everything else, because the more damage you do, the quicker you're able to kill absolutely everything around there. We're going to grab the see explode when hit. I don't know if that means I explode. I mean like an explosion when I get hit. So we're going to leave that. We're going to grab a shield, free one every 60 seconds. That's fantastic. It just means we get 5 lives now, while the shield is up, of course. When it goes down, then that's only 4 lives. And as you can see on the floor, there are a lot of health around us already. The helper does pick up the HPs for us as well, so as long as we're around them, we don't necessarily have to pick them up, and we will stay pretty safe. I do like how every level has different enemies and different mechanics. So what you will notice is that right now we're sitting on you know, enemies that throw ice cream scoops at us, or enemies that try and freeze us. You won't find these enemies in the other levels. So each level at least has its own unique mechanism, its own bosses. There's 2 bosses, each at 10 minutes. So there's a first boss and then a final boss, which is pretty cool. I haven't played Endless yet, so I have no idea how that works either. It's very carnival-esque kind of music here playing, which is pretty cool. Not carnival, I'm trying to think of what it is like. I can't think of the wording, but really cool little music playing. You really feel like you're a part of it. Now over here, as you can see, it decreases bullet size. Bullet size is actually really important. We do want to keep it. I'm gonna have to grab do dash area damage to enemies and gain an extra dash. I think we're gonna take the flower. Although that's great for the damage, the bullet size is a problem. What happens when your bullets are too small is you actually start to miss enemies, and we don't want that. We want to, you know, stay hitting them as much as possible. But you can see now we have a second dash, which is fantastic. That's going to help us for boss fights, and we're also going to be able to dash into enemies and kill them. So getting certain builds going, you need specific upgrades. For me, I just like to shoot things and they die, but you do get some upgrades that, you know, need a lot of area of effect. You can get like a righteous fire kind of build going out there, if you guys know Path of Exile. So you are able to deal damage over time, or like you get your auras in Soulstone Survivors that deal damage based on your area of effect sort of thing. You do get that in this game as well, and it does work really, really well. But let's go grab our recharge rate. Reloading speed, and we should start getting a lot more damage out there now as well. So hopefully, I don't know, I don't feel like there's a lot of elites that have been spawning. I feel like we haven't hit enough recipe upgrades. So magazine size is equal to your current health. So there we go. I haven't got any of these before. That means we now have 4 bullets instead of just 3, which is fantastic. So now if we can find ourselves even faster reload speed, we're going to get a lot more shots out, and we're going to be able to kill a lot more enemies. We do just need to, you know, remember we have a shield, but we also need to remember that you know, things can kill us if they touch us, so we're going to try and stay quite away from them. Each round, again, 20 minutes long. That's your standard for these survivor games, which is a-okay. Not too difficult and not too easy either. And as you can see, we do get hit. It just depends on the build. Maybe I should have taken that +1 bounce. I don't know if what upgrades you take actually, if there's any weighting to upgrades based on what you already have. If you do, then you do want to grab that +1 bounce. But maybe the developer can let us know if there is any weighting behind it or not. But I don't think there'll be weighting. That wouldn't make much sense. There's no real point to doing that. But now we can grab +1 HP. That's going to give us another bullet, which means that we are now able to shoot 5 times instead of just 3, which is fantastic. But there we just got hit. We're going to grab the crab because we want the chance for enemies to explode. And the only reason for that is because, as you can see, there are a lot of them clumped up together. And us making them explode is going to be fantastic. And then we can grab the HP there as well. Where is my helper though? Ow. Okay, we're just going to keep our distance over here. As you can see, the bullets do ricochet, so it's good to keep that in mind. They're lasting for a really long time. I don't know if that means we can maybe shoot them or what the case may be, but that was terrible. Okay. Thank goodness that was quite far away from us, so we don't have to worry about that as well. Like I mentioned, I haven't actually done this boss fight before, so everything here is new. Just like, it's the first time you seeing it, it's also the first time me seeing it as well. So pretty interesting little boss fights over there, but because we have quite a lot of damage, we're not really worried about it. Here's the burger patty, the upgrade I was talking about. So bullets. Bouncing bullets now target the closest enemy, and we add 1 bounce. So now we've got a lot more clear going for us, which is fantastic, which means we're going to be killing a lot more enemies a lot faster. There is a set amount of enemies allowed on the screen at any given time. So as you can see in the top right corner there, you've got the timer, but then you've also got the amount of enemies on the screen. As you kill more, you can see we're on 45. I'm not sure how it works, to be honest, but I think maybe 50 or 60 might be the max at any given time, or more and more enemies spawn, based on time. But obviously you just want to kill as many as possible so that you can summon as many as possible. And I think the amount of enemies you kill increases or decreases the amount of XP gain you get at the end of the run. So you do want to try and kill as many as possible, as quickly as possible, so that you can get that meta progression going. Maybe changing it from like XP as a thing. Maybe there's a better word we could use for it. I don't know if XP is really a good way of calling it something, but that's just my personal preference anyway. So enemies' special attacks are less accurate, or we can go for chance to freeze enemies. Freezing enemies is fantastic, as you can see. It just puts them, makes them stay in the spot, keeps us pretty safe. And then we're going to go and grab the crit chance over there. Again, we still need to try and get to at least 50% or higher, so that we are critting more and more often. Again, more we crit, the more damage we're going to deal as well. Alrighty. There is a thing where you can destroy enemy projectiles as well, as long as you shoot them. So there is auto aim. You can turn the auto aim off, and that's going to help you to aim at those enemies projectiles. But as you can see, they are really fast as well, so that could be very, very difficult to do until you're really used to that kind of game mechanic, I guess, or whatever the case may be. It is quite difficult. As you can see, they're quite difficult to have shot those ice projectiles that the enemies throw at us, but those ice cream balls are a lot easier to shoot at, but the other stuff it can be quite difficult. Alright, permanently increased damage relative to movement speed, regenerate HP. We're going to go for the curry. I've never had it. We just got a whack ton of damage over there, so now we can start looking at grabbing more movement speed, and that's going to give us even more damage, but that's okay. Right now we are critting so hard, 1.3k damage. Fantastic. The bullets bounce and always hit another enemy, which means that we are getting a lot more clear speed going on over here. So now if we find an upgrade that gives us +1 bounce, we will land up taking it, because that means we'll then hit 3 enemies per bullet. We have 5 bullets, So within a couple of seconds, or even within a second, we are going to be hitting like 15 enemies if we get that next bounce, which is a lot of damage. Still need more crit though. Crit chance and crit damage. I don't know what's better to get, you know, if we're looking at stat-wise, would it be better to get like flat damage and then work on crit damage afterwards? Or do we just keep getting the crit damage? I think flat damage over here is going to be fantastic. We could get movement speed as well, but I think the 20% damage is going to be great. Remember, the damage increase is based off of your current damage, not off of a base damage amount. So we are able to get a whack ton of damage going from there. I do want to try and crit this person. As you can see, the chance to freeze comes into handy over there. Over here, we increase our crit damage, but then we lose 15 max crit chance, which is a lot. We don't want to actually lose that. So we're going to grab the Ras over here to slow enemies' movement speed. That is going to make it a lot easier for us to survive when they are rushing towards us. There is another upgrade as well, which allows you to slow enemies within a certain area of effect. So then when you do get those area of effect upgrades, it does increase that area, so you don't have to worry about enemies running up to you and hurting you. It's going to be a lot harder for them to actually hit you or to get to you to hit you, but the ranged enemies are still a problem. They're still going to land up being ranged, and they can still hit you a lot better. But there is also an upgrade called Blueberry that stopped range bullets from hitting you, which is fantastic. So there's always something you can do to counter the enemy's attacks, which is really, really fantastic. Also, sometimes depending on how many enemies you kill, or how much XP you upgrade, I don't know if it's a I don't actually know how it works, but sometimes you get the XP gets sucked in, like there, or it just happened, and then you get to pick up a big pile of XP. I have no idea how it works. I think it just works. Now we can go and gain a critical chance for every enemy killed. It resets. We can also take that, but we're not worried about that. So we're going to pick up the salmon. That's going to give us increased crit, which is fantastic. Every time we crit, we also deal AoE damage, because that's just how it worked on this character, which I completely forgot about. So we wanted to get as much of that XP, as much of that crit as possible as well. And now we're seeing the crab coming in with the explosions as well, which is really, really nice. Okay, we don't lose. Oh, you do. So we still lose, even though we don't take heart damage, we still lose buffs based on that, because we do get hit. So we do lose a bit of a life as well as a bit of damage and crit every time we get hit. So we don't want to get hit at all, even if we have the upgrade that makes it so that we don't take damage. The shield, so even getting hit by the shield makes us lose. It still counts as a hit, that's what I'm trying to say, but at least we don't take damage to our life. It would be nice to see, what's the point of having a shield if it still counts as being damage being taken. It would be nice to see that maybe changing so that you don't just take damage for absolutely nothing. But we'll see how that goes. As you can see, dealing a lot of damage to these guys. Permanently upgrade, we don't want that again. Slow enemies within range by 30%, that's what I was talking about earlier. So now at least we have another slow for enemies that get too close to us. It also means as long as we're moving, we shouldn't have any of these enemies actually hitting us. And I would like to, I would like to see all of the coins land up going into one pile. And as I was about to say that, it happened, so that's pretty funny. Alright, this level is actually pretty challenging, just because I don't have a lot of things unlocked. We do have to survive the time to unlock the next character and weapon though. So if I do die, it will be a little unfortunate. We'll just have to unlock it on our own another time. But let's go grab the damage. As you can see, we went from 440 to 490 damage. Huge amounts of damage coming off over here. We've been very lucky with the damage upgrades. Usually I actually get quite a lot of crit upgrades. I haven't really been getting them as much as now. What I mean by that is we normally actually don't get the damage upgrades. We normally get the crit instead, and then we land up sitting there trying to get our damage up, and it doesn't work as well. There's a lot of enemies. Okay, let's see. +2 to level up rerolls, enemies in range take. So we're going to grab the egg over here. I know it sounds a bit weird, but we are going to then use it as soon as possible when we get upgrades that we don't need anymore or don't want. It does come in handy quite a lot, so we'll see what happens. The first weapon is actually really nice because the fact that you keep getting rerolls, you can then re-roll your build, re-roll your passives like this over here, but we do want the crit chance. Oh, we just wasted a dash over there. That's really bad. There is a heart over here, so that's good. Now's the time where I wish we took the, you know, if we kill 100 enemies we get the hearts back, but I think we'll be a-okay. Okay, I think we actually need slow enemies projectiles down. That's fine. I think what we do need is actually to grab ourselves more movement speed on this level, as well as more reload speed. Our reload speed is really low, as you can see, so I'm looking for an upgrade to increase that. That's going to help us, of course, and that will make it a lot better for us. We don't really want to be an arse over here either, and we didn't even have a dash over there, so it's really difficult. We've got a minute left. We can probably do this, but we just need to be a little bit more careful. So grab the damage, that's fine. Okay, perfect. Come on. Okay, we got our extra life there, that's perfect. We got a minute left. I think we would be able to kill the boss relatively quickly. It doesn't look like it's too difficult, but we've got a little bit of time left over there. You can see when you get to a minute left, the timer in the top over there, well, the timer moves to the top middle of the map, so that you can see it a lot easier, which is pretty cool as well. A lot of the time you don't actually realize what's happening. I know Nordic Ash has also changed their timer quite a bit, so it did become a lot more visible. Let's see what happens here. There's nothing here that's amazing, so we're just gonna take Mook, I guess. I don't know. I don't see any life nearby, which is a problem. Alright, so I think we have a slight issue on our hands over here, but we'll see what happens. We can grab more damage. It goes to nearly 700 damage. Luckily, this ability of theirs doesn't really hurt us, just slows us down, which is fine. That hurts, and quite a lot, and we died over there. So at least we saw the boss. We did get a couple of upgrade unlocks. We got the we got pancakes, attract all collectibles on screen when hit. That's actually pretty cool. And then BLT, who doesn't love a BLT, increases movement speed, damage, fire rate, and reload rate. So that's going to be a really good upgrade to randomly get. Hopefully we can get them. And these are boss upgrades as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.